Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork. Today is Thursday, and it's July 26th. Hope you guys have a wonderful day here. We got a few economic news to go over today. We'll start off with the weekly jobless claims that we get every Thursday. So last week we had that really low number of 208,000 people applying for unemployment. That was also a number that is that they use as the sample week for next week when they provide the job numbers for the month of July. So expect a very strong number next Friday from the BLS. And there is that was their sample week. It happen to be a very good week for initial jobless claims. Also, we got forecast for this week, however, is for actually for last week, it was 219,000. And it came pretty close to expectations at 217,000. So again, very strong number here, what we're seeing here in the job numbers, which is excellent. Now, we also got the durable goods orders for the month of June, and May was not a good month. As we can see, it dropped at 0.3%. Forecast for June was supposed to be at 3.7%, and it came in a bit disappointing. It came in only at 1% here. They thought this would be a much higher number here, and it came in very disappointing. Now, when you take out the transportation defense, which are pretty big numbers that can obscure it, we got what they call the core capital equipment orders for the month of June. So in May, we had a decent number in that category. It went up 0.7%. In June also came in pretty well, pretty strong here at 0.6%. So these came in pretty well, in which obviously transportation defense came in pretty disappointing, as we can see with the durable goods orders here. So let's jump here to the headline news. Stock market's a bit mixed today. The Dow's doing quite well. We had Q2 earnings continued here, the corporate earnings coming in. Technology has taken a pretty big dive where Facebook came in very disappointing, and actually they're having one of their largest one-day losses so far. It's in negative territory by almost like 19%. So this is the largest one-day drop so far of the day. Of course, the day's not over yet, but so far it's down about 19% here, which is pretty incredible here. And it's also kind of dragging the rest of the technology as it's part of one of the FANG groups there. But the Dow's doing quite well because towards late after hours we had an agreement between the U.S. and EU where they kind of created the framework. It's not yet the agreement, but a framework that kind of set aside the tariffs and build towards a zero tariff policy between the two groups here, between the U.S. and the European Union here, which is obviously good news for the U.S. as well as hopefully good news for them as well. Hopefully it's a win-win for both groups here. So let's see how this is affecting the bond market. Bond market's up a little bit. I kind of changed this up a little bit for you guys so that way we can see the stochastic calendar, because this will give you a little bit more insight as to the range and where we're at with the bond market. And right now, as you can see, we did drop all those. We had a little bit of a drop because late in the day with the announcement of the agreement between the U.S. and that bond market, money left the bond market, which dropped us a bit, which came to about 11 basis points down, and that went into the stock market, which you're seeing the Dow going up so far today. So we're kind of starting a little bit lower. We're up about 5-6 basis points so far, but as you can see, we got a long ways to go. And our next floor support is a good 25 basis support, but this isn't a very strong one. We're looking at actually 50 basis points lower. This is actually closer to what we'll probably be expecting, as you can see back here in May, the last time we touched it here. Now, the good news here is we're kind of, as you can see here, is that we kind of hit the oversold position here in the mortgage-backed securities, and we're going to work our way backwards. But we're just kind of at the edge here, and you can see it's going to work its way towards this way. It's not way down here. So again, I would, if you guys are out there we may get a little bit of improvement. I wouldn't say a lot, but we could probably get back up to this range here a little bit. But again, we're kind of just going over this line here. We're just barely under it here, and doesn't mean it's going to give us a lot of room back, but it'll give us probably some of this back here. Just be a little careful if you guys are out there. You could float ahead, but just be very cautious that you go ahead and are quick to the trigger if you have a rate you're floating around out there, whether it be a refinancing or purchasing. Mortgage back, here's the also the yields here, 10-year Treasury here. As you see, I broke above all of those. It used to be the ceiling, now it's a floor support. This will be the next stop here, kind of like what we saw with the mortgage-backed securities. I see we touched off of this line, the 310 range. This big spike here kind of actually saved us from hitting the negative yield here. We were actually down to about 0.24 right around this level here. We're about 2.4 difference in the spread, with September coming up with another quarter rate hike, and that would have put us at a flat yield curve. And then of course the December hike would put us at a negative. But right now we're up about 0.3 difference between a 10-year and a 2-year Treasury here. And right now we are sitting in the range right around 2.96, 2.97 range. As you can see here, is kind of this oversold position, so this might be pressure to come down a little bit here, as it's an overbought position here, and it might push us back into the levels here between the red and green line here. All right, so rates are about the same as what we left off yesterday. Not much difference yet, but again, we may get a little bit more improvement over the next day or two, and again, that could be very short-lived. So take advantage of it now, and then you might want to lock in very shortly here. All right, so that pretty much wraps things up. If you guys want to get more dates, updates throughout the dates, come over to Twitter. You can find me at Mike Bjork, and I do post throughout the day any changes in the markets here. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.